Josh, did you manage to see Microsoft's unveil of the Xbox One games last week? Was it like 2 weeks ago?
Is this the gameplay demo where they showed zero gameplay?
Yeah, pretty much.
I haven't seen it, but I have heard a lot about it. I know they held the most anticipated game right till the end, so that everyone would sit and watch through all of the tedious games first, and then what was it? It was the new Assassin's Creed, isn't it? Right at the end.
There was no
I think it was about 2 seconds of gameplay in the whole half hour of the video or something.
No, there was absolute. Oh, what the whole thing?
The whole thing. They reckon there's about 2 seconds of actual gameplay, and the rest of it is in-game. What's it called? In-game engine cinematics.
It was kind of disappointing. I was just like, I really wanted to get hyped up, and they just didn't deliver at all. Like, none of the games they could have. What they should have done is what they did a few years back for, I think it was Assassin's Creed Origins, the one that's set in Egypt. So when they showed off a CGI trailer, and then they said, "Oh, here's some gameplay. Now we're gonna have some gameplay in 4K on Xbox One X." That's what they should have done. They should have definitely had the gameplay ready to show. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing. The whole conference just was a bit flat, and the big reveal of Assassin's Creed was like, oh, it's a trailer. And
how long was the event?
About 40 minutes.
No, I mean, how long ago was the event announced?
I'm not sure about that. I think because
do you reckon Microsoft pulled all the developers under the bus by sort of like, I don't know, announcing this trailer when this event when no one was ready?
I don't know, because of the coronavirus. You just don't know, do you? Because a lot of things have changed, schedules have changed, games have been delayed. So yeah, because people working, you can't predict the current situation. Everyone's affected. But yeah, it was, for me, it was just really disappointing. But then we managed to see the Unreal Engine 5 on PlayStation 5. That was interesting. Did you manage to see that?
I'll be honest, Tommy, I haven't seen anything unless you've sent it to me. You're going to have to start sending me things. You're going to have to start giving me homework for this.
Absolutely.
But no, who was I listening to? I did hear... I was watching Linus and Luke were talking about it from LTT, so that's where I saw it.
Well, I think I was pretty impressed. But it's going to still take a few years to develop games for Unreal Engine 5. It did look impressive, what they had to show, even if it was a tech demo. Well,
I remember the Unreal 4, so if it's better than Unreal 4, then it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Is Unreal 5 the one where they were they got that new lighting system?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're showing off the not quite ray tracing, but where it's like so light comes in, hits the surface, and then illuminates everything around it.
Yeah.
Sort of like semi-more realistically or whatever.
To me, the actual tech demo looked like an Uncharted game or a Tomb Raider game. I was just like, this would be amazing if this was Uncharted 5. You ever played the Uncharted games? It looked like an Uncharted game to me. The actual tech demo.
I mean, I remember, like, at the beginning of the decade, is it Unreal Tournament? I don't know. I remember there was this game.
That's where it spawned from the engine, from the Unreal Tournament, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Unreal Tournament. It was Unreal something, and there was this... It was just... Because when I first started my apprenticeship, we were setting up for a games jam, and there was this Unreal game, and it was just a tech demo game. But basically, that was what we were using to sort of like benchmark the computer. So like we had some older Dell XPS machines in there, and we just ordered, like literally just arrived, the first sort of like i7 machines with like Quadro graphic cards in them for the games lab, and then we're like comparing the Unreal game we had between the two systems, and it was like there was like 2 levels. There was 0 sort of. It's a tech demo, so there was 0. Not replayability, but there's no progression. There's no progression because it's obviously a tech demo.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun, and if it was a real game, I would absolutely have played so much more of it. I need to find that. I think, do you know something? Sadly, I think literally at the beginning of the lockdown, I threw away a disc that had the game on it. So that's quite frustrating.
Why would you do that? Why would you throw away stuff?
It was just a CD. It just, I didn't think I needed it.
Did you see the Epic Games Store then last week?
What? How it's done nothing? Not done nothing. How it's just died.
GTA Grand Theft Auto 5 crashed.
Yeah, so we got GTA 5 now from Epic Games Store.
Well, I got it for free. You had to pay for it, mate, through Steam.
Yeah, well, I got it for free through Epic now as well. What do you mean I had to pay for it? I bought it day one. There's a difference.
Yeah, I paid for it, and
in fact, I didn't get it day one. I pre-ordered it. Pre-ordered it for the Xbox 360. I think I bought it day one for the PC release, and then we bought it on sale for the Xbox One not too long ago. And then because I gave my Xbox 360 copy to someone, we actually bought a second-hand copy of GTA 5 again. So I've actually bought GTA 5 4 times, and now we have it for free on the Epic Store.
Why did you buy it again on the 360?
Because at the time, Jen wanted to play it, and she had the Xbox 360. We didn't have an Xbox One at the time, so it was like 12 quid. At the time, it was actually going up in price. It was like £11 at CX, and then the next time it was like £12.50 or something. I was like, oh, we should probably pick this up before it goes up any more. And then not 2 weeks later, I was talking to the person who had it, and they're like, oh, do you want your game back? And I was like, oh, no. Just play the damn thing.
Keep it, might as well keep it.
But the reason is the reason we got it free from the Epic Store is partly because we can, and why the hell not? But because we've just been looking at getting a second PC and what it's going to look like having my Steam library across 2 different computers, and Jen isn't going to be able to play my Steam library while I'm playing my Steam library.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating. On one level, I understand. On another level, I think it's absolute bullshit.
Well, it stops from you giving someone else your account to someone else, so like another friend or a family member, and then allow them.
But Netflix. Well, I know Netflix are different. No, but so you buy a game, and I say that in quotes because they always say you don't buy a game, you buy a license to play a game. So if I bought 4 copies of GTA 4, then I should be able to play GTA 5 4 times, no matter what system I bought it on. You could have put it that way.
That doesn't work like that, though, because
Why not?
Because you've bought it originally on the 360, then you've bought it on PC on Steam, then you've bought it on the Xbox One, then you've bought it again on the 360, and now you've got it on the Epic Games Store. So you've bought it on the 360 twice.
Yeah.
Right? You've bought it on the Xbox One, that's a different brand. And then you've bought it on Steam, that's a different brand. You can't just turn around and say, oh, because I bought this 4 times on different platforms, that I could just end up playing it all on the same platform on one. Doesn't work like that, does it?
I think you can. I think you should. Maybe not that you can, but I think you should. So I disagree that Blu-rays cost more than DVDs, because the hardware cost between the two isn't that great anymore. There's not a huge jump in price between the discs. There is some, but not anywhere near the cost anyway.
Well, I think £10 for a DVD is ridiculous.
No, but going back to a film, right? Yeah. You watch a film, you buy the DVD, you pay £10. You watch that, right? You buy a DVD, you and Marvy watch it, that's £10 for both of you. You buy a DVD, you and Marvy watch it, and your daughter watches it, that's still £10. They don't charge you more because more than one person is watching the DVD at the same time, do they? But they're saying
What you're telling me is that I need to start charging £10 so the rest of my family have watched the film.
absolutely.
Look, I'm going to say to her, how many times have you seen this film? You owe me about 150. That's a fair point. I get your point, but it's difficult, isn't it? It's a difficult one because it's like you could have the same argument. It's like you have a DVD, you spend £10, you lend it to a friend. They haven't spent the £10, have they?
No, that's different though.
How's it
because
different?
my friend isn't my household. I would extend it as far as my household because otherwise, anytime I watch a DVD, like with my wife, that would be illegal. Lending a DVD isn't legal according to copyright law. I'm not defending it. I lend DVDs. I borrow DVDs.
Yeah.
It's like if I watch a film at home, I don't get charged more, or I don't get to pay less because there's only me. If I was a single person, is it fair that a single man pays the same amount as a man who's got 7 kids?
That's a good argument.
It's probably a terrible argument, but
you would actually make them pay more because he has 7 kids.
No, I wouldn't make them pay more.
No?
Yeah, copyright is awful.
Yeah, so it's a sticky one.
I paid for GTA 5 4 times, and it's frustrating that I can't play it on 2 computers at the same time. Well, I can now because of Epic, but it's just frustrating. But the even more annoying thing with Steam, and so here's where the Netflix analogy does come in. So we pay Netflix the second tier where you get 1080p and 4 streams, I think it is. No, 2 streams.
Yeah.
So we can watch 2 things at the same time.
Yeah.
With Steam, I can't play GTA 5 whilst Jen plays GTA 4 because they're both within my library. I think that is even more wrong than the argument of whether you can play the same game at the same time within your household. So I get the argument about not pirating games between you and your friend, but if I have 2 computers that I share with my household, be it me and my wife, or if you've got other family members, if you've got children or whatever, you should be able to have more. You should be able to have like the sort of like the Netflix family account. You should be able to play different games at the same time because again, the games should belong to the household, not the person. If I die tomorrow, does that mean Jen can't play all the games that I bought?
Well, you would have to submit it in your will.
Maybe I will. If Jen can't play those games after I die,
right,
then she can't. Then she shouldn't be able to play them now. Do you know who? Someone took someone to court. Someone took Apple to court. It was a famous singer who had bought so much music on iTunes, and he took Apple to court. And he was like, "When I die, I want this music on my iPod to go to my daughter." And I think the case was resolved for that guy, but it wasn't resolved for the rest of us.
No.
But yeah, so it's like there's no what copyright law prevents Jen from playing, say, Farming Simulator, which isn't even by the same developer as GTA 5, while I'm playing GTA 5. There is absolutely zero copyright layering going on there, except for the one fact, which is probably Steam's technical lack in terms of sharing library.
I don't know if Microsoft do the same or Sony. Do they do the same, do you know? Or Nintendo? Are you allowed to play different games? But that's the thing though, like, say...
Yeah, because I played a Game Pass game on my PC whilst Jen's played it on our Xbox. Unless the whole PC to Xbox thing, there's a layer missing and Microsoft needs to fix it.
But the thing is, it's like, say if you're playing on... Yeah, like you're playing on an X... Say, okay, in the future, eventually, I will get the Xbox One Series X. Okay? And I say I'm playing it downstairs and I'm playing Halo. And then say I have Mavi and she's playing the Xbox One upstairs, just a standard Xbox One. I don't expect her to start saying, oh, it's not working because you're playing this and this downstairs. Can you turn off your console so then I can play my console? It just doesn't work like that, does it?
That is exactly what I expect console gaming. I expect console games even within Microsoft. So if you got a 360, a One, and a Series X, and let's throw in a Windows 10 PC, if you're paying for the games with gold, like the Ultimate one, which is like if you've got the family version, I don't know what their splits are at the moment because it's all different. Because you could get gold single and you can get gold for the family, couldn't you, at different prices? But if you're paying for the family one, then there should be nothing to stop you like all three of you from playing different games across the console. And to a certain point, the same game. I don't see why you can't play the same game because, like,
wow, that's the thing. You have to buy it twice, though.
No, I don't think you should. If the three of you can play it one at a time on one machine, why shouldn't you be able to play it at the same time on different machines that all belong to the same account?
Well, you could probably do it, but the only way you could do it is if you had a digital version. Say if I'm playing downstairs with an Xbox One Series X, and then Mavi's upstairs playing on the Xbox One, and we both select the same game to play, it should allow us to play the game. But then if you actually need a physical copy, then you need 2 physical copies.
Well, not if it's on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that would suck is if you're a person that just didn't want to buy digital, you only buy physical copies of games, then you need to buy 2 copies of the games just to play it. Because the disc needs to be in the Xbox for it to run. But say if you had a digital version, then I suspect then you could play downstairs, and whoever else could, if you had another Xbox One, could play the same game at the same time in a different room.
Because you can say, oh, piracy and that, but if you've got a digital copy of a movie, the same sort of thing applies. It comes into play the same way, doesn't it? Like, if there's one of you watching it or 3 of you watching it, they don't charge you more for that.
No.
So, they don't lock it.
I hope Steam sees, listens to this and actually acts and does something about it.
Well, the first one I would like is for them to do playing different games under the same account. Or via shared accounts. Like, if I share my library with Jen, and we want to play 2 different games, there is 0 legal reason why Steam or any other games launcher should stop us. I can understand there might be technical reasons and it might be difficult to enforce, but it's not like they haven't had 10 years to work it out.
I did buy a Steam Link maybe a year and a half ago because it was very cheap.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with licensing.
Well, what I'm going to say is what Steam does allow you to do, say if you have games that are not on the Steam store, you can actually link the games on Steam to where they are installed on your computer, and then you can actually play them. And it's kind of useful if you've got like a Steam Link, so then you can play the games downstairs or...
Yeah, but that doesn't do anything for like playing at the same time, because you can't play a game on the Steam Link whilst also playing another game on the PC, because all it's doing is mirroring your screen and playing that on the telly downstairs. Even if you add in a non-Steam game, that's just a screen, like a shifted screen, really.
So what they want you to do is buy it as a gift, or that person to buy it again.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they've not done anything about it, is because the alternative is you buy it twice.
Yeah, well, that's just the industry, isn't it? What are you gonna do?
And they get their cut if you pay for it twice. So, but yeah, it's just frustrating because we're seriously thinking about getting a second gaming PC because Jen wants to play it, and we do want to play some games together. But it's like, okay, when we buy a game, whose account do we buy it under? Do we buy it under Jen's account, my account? And it's frustrating because we can't just buy them under one account and share them between us. I've got a few subscriptions where it's just really simple. I pay a monthly fee, and Jen and I both have access to it. It's just it's just frustrating the way the company's like it's just not shifting, and Origin is even worse. So like Steam, you can have installed on multiple PCs, and you can have it open, like the Steam client open on different computers at the same time. Origin, you can't even breathe on two PCs at the same time. So we wanted to have different save files because basically I play more than Jen, and Jen's Sims were all dying.
Yeah.
While I was playing because of the way the age works in the game. So we split up the save games, and I thought, oh, we'll just have them on two different computers so that we can. So they, we just got it on two different computers.
Yeah.
If you open the Origin client on your other computer, it forces you to sign out of Origin client on computer one.
Yeah.
It's like, really? I get that you don't want me to play it on more than one computer at a time, but why the whole of Origin?
That's EA, isn't it? That's EA.
It is, and that doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest.
They want you to have two Origins accounts. Going back to GTA, you want to know something interesting? So when I bought the game on PS3, it was hyped up like every Rockstar game there's always this big massive hype for it. And it's like, oh, you got to play this, you got to play the game. And then when it comes out, everyone says it's amazing, 10 out of 10. And then the hype dies down. The same happened with Red Dead Redemption 2. Everyone's just like, yeah, it's okay. But for some reason, when everyone was saying, you got to play this game, I got the game. And then for some reason, I just do not know why, I didn't touch the game for a month. When I did touch it, I did fall in love with the game. I absolutely loved it because it reminded me of The Sopranos. It reminded me of, the gangster films like Goodfellas, Casino. But for some reason, I just didn't want to get hooked into this hype train. When sometimes it's like everyone's like, oh, this is 10 out of 10. You got to play this. The same happened with Metal Gear Solid 5, I think, the Phantom Pain. Everyone's like, oh, you got to play this, it's 10 out of 10. And I was just like, wait till the reviews die down, wait till everything calms down, and then pick it up, and then I started playing it. But you said, Josh, that you just played it straight away. Do you think you would have enjoyed it more if you...
Yeah, I bought it...
Do you think you would have enjoyed it more, though, if you just waited a bit and let the hype die down? Because there was with every Rockstar game, there's always that hype and expectation. It did live up to it, though.
No, because I didn't really read into the hype. I was looking forward to the game, and I don't know what to say about the hype because I just don't really. I'm not saying I don't remember the hype. I just don't think. I'm not saying I'm imperceptible to the hype, but that wasn't really where I was at before the game came out. Like, I was looking forward to the game, but I was playing other games. I was playing, playing the other Rockstar games before, and what was I doing at the time? I'd only just, not recently, but I'd only picked up Minecraft like not too long before that. So I would, that was the big game for me at the time as well. That was one of them. When I picked up GTA 5, it was the perfect time for me because it was before we started university. Basically, it came out in a period where I had 3 weeks between finishing my previous job and starting university. I think it came out on something like the 14th of September, and we had the first day was like the 22nd.
Yeah.
So I basically turned nocturnal, played the game for about 16 hours each day. Going to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 10 a.m. and just playing. And I finished the game within a week. Not because I hype, but because I A, had the time, and B, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's
mental. 4 o'clock in the morning, you got up at 10.
Yeah, but that's sort of normal if you go to bed at midnight and wake up at 7.
I could never do that. I'm people that know me, I have a strict sleeping time. I have to get 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, that is 8 hours. It's just at a different time.
Well, it's not though, is it? Say if you go to bed at 12 then and you wake up at 7, that's 7 hours, isn't it?
Something like that. I'm not very good at maths. Anyway, those were numbers I picked out of the air. You know, that's not important. What I was saying is my sleep schedule changed.
Yes.
I might have been sleeping for 10 hours. I don't know. You know, I might have been sleeping like 3 till midday.
You stayed up very late to play the game and then woke up.
Stayed up very late.
Didn't get much sleep.
And woke up very late.
I don't think I've ever done that. I've never done that for a video game.
I haven't done it since.
You haven't done it since?
I don't think.
Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, well, because I'm sensible and boring now, and I've got work and things like that.
That's true.
The closest I got to that was, like, because I work in a school, I get the summer holiday off. It wasn't to coincide with any game, it was just I had no routine, had no job to get up for.
Yeah.
I met my girlfriend at the time in the evening, and then I'd go home at like 10 o'clock, and then I'd play video games for like 3 or 4 hours. And then wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, I think the only time I've really done that recently, and this is probably about 2 years ago now, I was playing Resident Evil 2, the original, on the PS1, and I was playing it on the PS3, and it was around about Christmas time, and Christmas time I normally have like 2 weeks off. So I just had so much time, and I played it on the very easiest difficulty, and I just managed to... I managed to complete it. It's one of those, I think I discussed this before, where it's one of those games I start playing and then I get to about halfway through and I just give up. But I was determined. I was like, I'm not giving up. I'm going to complete this game. And then once I completed it, I just got really addicted and started keep playing it. And that was one of the games I just played till like 1 o'clock in the morning and then got up later than normal. You know, because I have 2 weeks off, so there's no reason for me to get up. It's Christmas time.
The last game that I wanted to do that with, but actually I couldn't, was Skyrim. When I picked up Skyrim years ago, but I couldn't get past this one part in it, so I just kept putting it down. But 2 years ago, just before the summer, literally 2 years ago now, I started playing Skyrim again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because as much as I wanted to stay up till 1 o'clock, I couldn't. So I just had to like abandon the game at like 10 o'clock, no matter where I was, and just wait until I got back from work the next day before I could play it, and hope that I didn't have anything else to do. If I'd waited 2 more months, I could have just done it over 2 or 3 weeks in the summer holidays.
I love that game, but I hate it.
It's a really good game.
I hated it on the PS3.
Yeah, do you know? So when we first started playing it, Jen has been playing it on the 360.
Yeah.
And I redid the first part, the cave part.
Yeah.
After already having played it on the PC.
Yeah.
Gosh, was it so difficult trying to play like a hack and slash with a controller. I don't know. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, the control. I generally play all my PC games like. If it's single player only, I'm playing by myself, I always normally play with a controller. But if I'm playing online, I try and use keyboard and mouse.
It depends on the game. So Skyrim for me is keyboard and mouse.
Really?
Yeah, I feel better doing that kind of like sword work and arrow work with keyboard and mouse. Even though I do play PC games with a controller, there's not that many that I do, which is weird. GTA 5, I switch between controller and keyboard, so I prefer controller when I'm on foot and I prefer keyboard when I'm in car.
Yeah.
Just Cause 3, brilliant game. So I wish they had better writers.
Yes.
Because Just Cause 3 was a brilliant story, poorly told, I feel. I almost wish Just Cause 3 was done by Rockstar or something, because I just wish it had that level of storytelling, because I genuinely enjoyed it. I know most people like Just Cause 3 for the explosions, but I genuinely liked the story, and I was a little bit let down by how rubbish it was but near the end. But Just Cause 3 has to be keyboard and mouse. I've tried doing it with a controller, and I just can't get my head around it. But the frustrating thing is that the vehicles are a pig to drive with a keyboard and mouse, but they drive really well with a controller. I don't know why. I think the controls just aren't properly... I don't think they're optimised very well for keyboard and mouse for driving.
Well, for me, like playing Skyrim on the PS3, it wasn't the controller or anything. It was just the loading times and the frame rate, and there was an issue where if you kept on saving and overriding your save, the bigger the save file gets, the frame rate just crashes.
Okay.
Because it's due to your save file for some reason. There was like a bug. Just playing it on PC, it's the same with GTA 5. Like playing it on the PS3 and then playing it on PC. There's a massive difference in graphics and loading textures, and it's so much better. It's just a better gaming experience. But if I had no choice though, I would still play it. Say if there was a PS3 with Skyrim, of course I'll play it, but it's not the best experience.
So with Skyrim, the funny thing is now that I've waited so long to play it, obviously I'm playing it with a computer that is, I don't want to say quite modern because I've only got a 2014 CPU, but I've got a CPU that can handle Skyrim with zero problems on everything at the highest.
Which Skyrim is it though? Is it the remastered?
The Legacy Edition. I haven't got the Special Edition, just the Legacy. But the funny thing is, the Skyrim looks like a game from 2006, but with high resolution textures, or slightly higher resolution textures. It's like how all PS2 games sort of look the same. Skyrim looks like a game from the previous generation. Up close, everything looks relatively nice, just owing for the fact that it is a 9-year-old game, but everything looks quite nice. The details are reasonably high, but then if anything is like further than 50 meters away on the map, and there's just nothing out there, it's just awful. And that's where I'm like, oh, maybe I should play this on a PS3 or something, because everything is relative. Like the graphics are less, but it makes those two extremes less extreme and more blended together. So it's like playing Minecraft on Bedrock. You can't see further than 150 blocks on Bedrock, whereas on the PC you can, and you can see where the world ends, and that kind of breaks the illusion a little bit. It's the old meme where you've got an FPS game, and you've got some guy who's got a 1080, and he's hiding in the grass, and then some guy comes with a screaming hot AMD 480, who has turned all his settings to low, can't see the grass texture, so the sniper who thought he was hiding in the grass is just in plain sight.
There you go. Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy, isn't it?
I did find with GTA 5, the one thing that slightly frustrates me, and sometimes this is the reason I bought the second copy of the GTA 5 on 360, because for a while, anytime they released a new vehicle in GTA Online, your single player character could access that vehicle through their in-game garage. You couldn't buy it on the website. You just had to spawn it in, and then you could customize it and save it. But then they stopped doing that in the PS4, Xbox One, and then the PC release. So the only way you could experience those vehicles was to buy them. But these are all the absurdly expensive ones that you have to grind for or pay real life money for. So I actually, about a year ago, I loaded up the 360 version just to see all of these cars. But I think they stopped it after one of the updates for online. They were just like, right, we're not giving any more vehicles to the 360 single player version. I don't actually know. That is a good point. I don't know if the 360 actually has the same online experience as the current gen and the PC version. That's an interesting one to have a look.
You mean so subsequent updates to the online experience? You don't know if it's the same on the 360
and PS3? Yeah, I wonder if they've stopped it.
I don't know, because I think they're still active. The communities are still active, and I'm sure they're still making money from it. So that they still support it.
Yeah, probably. What's the last one that they did?
That's a good question as well. Why did you get the 360 version when you could have got the PS3 version and it would have been free to online? You wouldn't need Xbox Live.
Because I had an Xbox 360.
Fair enough. But I thought you got a PS3.
Yeah, like 6 months ago.
Ah, okay, fair enough. So at the time you didn't have a PS3.
No. Bought a 360.
And it kind of makes sense anyway, because if you got Xbox Live or Game Pass for Xbox One, then that carries on for the 360 as well, doesn't it? It's the same account.
Do you know something? I said in the last podcast that I never paid for Xbox Live, but that's a lie. I paid for 1 year's worth of Xbox Live, maybe 2 years worth, because I think it was a year and a half between the 360 and the PC release. But yeah, basically, I bought the PC version because it's basically 1 year's worth of Xbox Live, and then I no longer have to pay to play it online. And it was literally the reason and the only game that I played online for. So I didn't need Xbox Live after I got the PC version.
Yeah.
So that's something that we were talking earlier about before something we were talking this morning about. So I think Microsoft are getting really sneaky, and I know they're getting really sneaky because they're a fan of money, and
who isn't?
If you want to get Xbox Live, basically you can't unless you buy the physical card versions. You know, I know you can get the keys digitally, but you either buy it from Game in store, or you buy it from a weird website online, or you give Microsoft the money direct and get it through there. I've always done the give Microsoft direct because it's just simpler. I don't think you save that much money by going through those weird ways, do you?
What do you mean, by getting the actual card, or like going to like CD keys? Yeah,
sometimes you get the ones that are like 12 months for like 20% discount.
If you're going to like, I think it's like G2A and CD keys.
We're not going to include G2A because G2A isn't real. That's like shady.
Well, if you're going to go to websites like that, then yeah, it's going to be cheaper because they are shady. But if you're going to go to legit and get like a card version, it's probably like a few quid. It's not going to be,
because I know sometimes you see them on Amazon and eBay. But anyway, so basically, if you want gold, if you want to play online now, and you don't know about these CDs because you don't want to go outside the house, or you don't want to faff around, or you just want it now and you have to wait for your key, you go to Microsoft, type in Xbox Gold. It takes you to Xbox Game Pass for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And you scroll down, and it says, see what's best for you. I'm like, okay, here's my options. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, $11.99 or whatever it is. I don't really want that. Scroll a bit further down, you can get Xbox Game Pass for Xbox, and you get Xbox Game Pass for PC, and they're like $7.99 and $6.99 or whatever they are. And then they're like include for the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it's like includes Game Pass, value $6.99. I'm like, that's great. Where do I go if I just wanted to play Red Dead Online?
How much is Game Pass for 12 months?
It's $11.99 a month. And that's the other thing. Since the Game Pass Ultimate has come out, I can't see an annual price. Because they used to have an annual price for Game Pass and for Gold. But now they only have $11.99 a month. Because if I was going to pay for Game Pass, I would pay annually. So, because usually it's 10 months for the price of 12. But now that's not an option. So if I want to play Red Dead Online and I don't care about the, quite frankly, terrible selection of games on Game Pass, because there's like 3 games on there that I would want, and it's like, well, I just buy them and then I'm sorted. Because it's like Forza Horizons, if you play that on the PC, you don't need gold to play online, which I think is quite funny, despite the fact that it's part of the games anywhere. I kind of would have thought that they would sort of be wrapped. I almost expected to have to pay Xbox Gold to play the PC version of Horizons online, but I was quite surprised when I didn't. But it would be cheaper for me to buy Red Dead 2 for a second time and play it on my PC to play online than it would be to pay for anything to play it on the Xbox. And I feel like I'd get better value to play it on a PC, because then Jen and I can play it both at the same time. And then we're right back to the first issue.
Yeah. Well, my history with buying stuff from the Microsoft Store, so buying it from the actual PC itself. So I bought Gears of War 4. I bought it on PC, and they give you the Xbox One copy for free. And I didn't have to pay for online because I bought the PC copy, and now it's free to play online. But because they've just recently created an Xbox launcher, and it's based around Xbox Game Pass. I'm not sure if you still need. I don't know if you bought a game. Can you still play online for free, or do you need Xbox Live? Or
well, no, that's what I'm saying. So I thought Microsoft would be greedy and make PC players of the Play Anywhere version of the game would have to pay Xbox Live. Not for any technical reasons. I just thought purely for profit reasons. I thought Microsoft might do that. So let's take a game that I know you can buy in two places, although it doesn't actually have online mode, so it's not a great example. But Tomb Raider, you can buy the Play Anywhere version, or you can buy the Steam version. We've always bought the Steam version because in the past, it's not frame rate locked or anything.
Yeah.
If you buy the Play Anywhere version, then you can play it on the PC or you can play it on the Xbox. If it had online mode on the PC, on the Xbox, you would have to have Xbox Live to play online. But on the PC, you won't.
That's the same experience I had for when I bought Gears of War 4 when they were first doing this.
Yeah, so it's still the same. I just fully expected Microsoft to be greedy and ask for more money.
Well, the thing is with that is that they know they're competing against Steam, and then Steam, like, you don't have to pay to play online. Most games on PC, it just you don't do it. You don't pay to actually play online. You just buy the game and it's free to play online.
I don't even understand why you have to pay to play online on Xbox.
Well,
what are you paying for?
Originally, they did have when the 360 came out, their online service was probably the best.
But how are you defining that?
Okay, so the way they had the interfaces at the time, so they had like group chats, they had people going around making sure that there was no cheating going on.
Right, everything that Xbox Live offers can be and is available for free through things like Discord, OneDrive, because it uses OneDrive for like your photo sharing and that. Like, what does OneDrive offer me that I need to pay for? Because they don't host the service. If I play GTA 5 on the Xbox and I play online, it's Rockstar servers. In fact, it's not even Rockstar servers. It's Rockstar servers that do matchmaking, and then the rest of it's peer-to-peer. So why the hell am I paying Xbox like 50 quid a year, or it's going to be more than that now, for a chat service that most of us are going to have turned off? And then we talk to our friends over TeamSpeak, because that's what we did when we played GTA 5, doing all our heists and everything. We did it over TeamSpeak. So what am I paying for? We pay for...
That's an interesting question, because recently, a few days ago, I was actually watching a video about the PlayStation Network hacking.
Yeah.
So you could say, Microsoft do have the situations where they've been hacked, but not like what happened to Sony in like 2011. People's private information got hacked, and credit cards and usernames and passwords.
Yeah, what price did they pay for? What did the PlayStation Network get you? Because I thought the PSN was free at the time, wasn't it? Because that was
it was free, yeah.
Was that before or after the PS4?
Before. So PS2 was free. They had online service, and then the PS3 was because most people
So the PSN that
wouldn't pay
was
it.
just the game store if they were buying digital versions of the game
What? Say that again?
and access for chat. So the whole point of the PSN was just for the credit card info was if you're buying games through the PlayStation Store.
No, you can. There's online servers. You can play online.
Yeah, but you didn't pay for that though. That's what I was saying.
No, you didn't pay for it.
Yeah, right. That's what I am saying. So the PSN, the only reason they had the credit card information was for purchases, not for paying for the PlayStation Network itself. Unlike Gold, where you pay for Gold and then you pay for the games on top of Gold.
And it's interesting as well because PlayStation, they were like, okay, yeah, we're still going to keep our PlayStation Network for free. And then they came out with PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
So they said, right, if you just give us a few bucks a month, then you get 2 free games each month. So then Microsoft were like, oh, we need to start doing that. So that's how that kicked off. That's how Xbox started giving away games. That because PlayStation saw that there was a market of giving away games, and people just normally subscribe to these subscriptions just to play online. They've always used console games, and then you might as well go with the one that's giving away 2 games for free each month. So Microsoft was like, oh, we got to get ourselves in there. We got to start giving away games as well. But then eventually PlayStation 4, when PlayStation 4 came around, you had to pay for it.
So PlayStation Plus is older than the PS4 because I thought they came out at the same time.
No, it came out when the PS3 was near the end. So that was like a trial. So PS3 was always free.
Yeah, well, Games with Gold is much older than the PS4. I remember Games with Gold stuff years back.
Yeah, so PlayStation Plus came out near the end of the PS3. So it came out before...
But Games with Gold is much older than that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, I don't know. Someone out there is going to write a comment and correct both of us.
Maybe. Well, I suppose the easy way is to see what the first game released on each one was. So Fable 3 was released June 10th, 2013. Yeah. So that is later than I thought it was.
The big game that Sony gave away at the time, and the people who gave the developers who gave away the game kind of I'm not sure if they regretted it, but it got themselves in the market, was actually Rocket League. So Rocket League, it was a free game because it was on the PlayStation Plus free games list for the month, and it was like the very first one on the PS4. But then everyone picked it up, and eventually they've managed to sell like millions, haven't they? That game's...
We're both wrong.
Are we?
Yeah.
Go on then.
29th of June, 2010.
What, PlayStation?
The first game on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. So that's when the PS3.
Yeah.
Like I said.
No, you said PS4.
I said PS... Oh, my...
No, you said with the PS3 just before the PS4.
Yeah. It was late in the PS3's life cycle. Just before the PS4.
Well, I don't know, 3 years.
Wow, that
60%.
That was, yeah. The thing is, that generation of gaming was a very long time, wasn't it? It was like 2006 till 2013. That was a long time, wasn't it?
A long time ago now, yeah.
I've just got one last
Yes, I apologise to you.
That's
you
fine.
were right, I was wrong.
It's okay. I got one last question, Josh.
Go for it.
Is there a game that you've played that you've managed to play through and you didn't really like at the time, but then years later you look back or you've played it again and you actually appreciate the game for what it is?
Don't know. I think...
I'll tell you what, I'll give you time to think. I've got a game. I remember playing GTA 4 in 2008, and I started playing it, and I couldn't get on with it at all because it was so realistic.
You didn't like the change?
I didn't like the tank control, like the really heavy controls of the cars, the shooting of the guns and stuff. But then I played it maybe like 2 years ago, and I actually managed to get the DLC because I never played the DLC as well, so I managed to complete the game and the DLC. I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the realistic take of and GTA 5. It kind of does this realistic take, but then it takes it kind of back to like GTA 3 and Vice City controls as well. It's like a middle ground.
Yeah.
Where
it basically they listened to the feedback from GTA 4 and implemented it in GTA 5. I mean, I'm not saying I was a fan, but I do look fondly on the boat suspension that there is in GTA 4, and I really enjoyed driving around, and I like the damage simulation, like when you crashed a car, the way it dented. I thought that was much better than like even GTA 5 has it now.
Yeah.
GTA 4 is a good game, and it's a shame for people who couldn't get on with it because the storyline, again, was so good, but I do understand why people would be turned off by the sort of like the game mechanics of it, because it was just so different from like San Fran and Vice City.
The one thing that I really enjoyed playing the DLC is in the main game, when you started a mission and say like you got near the end of the actual completion of the mission, and say you die or get arrested.
Yeah.
You have to drive all the way back to the actual mission start. Then you have to go through the entire the cutscene. You can skip that, and then you got to drive to the location to start the mission. And I was just like, this is ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, I think I can't remember which one, but one of those DLCs was the first game to have checkpoints. It was literally the first Rockstar game, well, the first GTA and Red Dead game to have checkpoints. I wonder if maybe that came in whilst they were developing Red Dead Redemption. So when because I think the timelines aren't too far off. Because obviously back then the development schedules were a lot closer than they are now. But there's a lot of things. Well, no, that's not true. But yeah, there's some things in Red Dead that weren't in GTA 4, but were in I think the Ballad of Gay Tony, which is a fantastic game, and I love that game. I often play the Ballad of Gay Tony more than I play GTA 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I still appreciate it. I still appreciate its gritty tone and its realistic...
Yeah, the only problem with its gritty tone is if you have a crap screen like I did, I legitimately couldn't see some parts of the city at night because my screen was just not bright enough.
I remember... What did I have it on? I think I had it on the 360. It ran pretty good.
Yeah, I had it on 360, and... like a lot of things, I bought it on... do you know, there was a Steam summer sale, and every GTA game from GTA 3 through to GTA 4 with the episodes and all the... did it have the Vice City stories as well? Basically, all of them were on sale for like 30 quid. So I just bought it. Despite the fact that I already owned some of them on PC on disc, as well as owning them on... Basically, I like GTA games, and I bought every single game more than once, with the exception of Red Dead Redemption 2. So, yeah.
Apparently, though, the PC ports of those games are not very good. Oh, mate, look up the videos.
Those are the ones I played.
Especially GTA 4 doesn't run very well at all.
So I played Vice City and 3 on the PC. I played San Fran on the PS2. I played GTA 4 on the Xbox 360 and sort of started to play it on the PC. It might have been bad at the beginning, but when I played it a couple of years ago, it seemed to be fine. I haven't got very far through. I think I'm like one island in or 2 islands in or something, so I'm not very far through the game, but I've not had any major issues.
I think if you had a graphics card at the time, it didn't play very. But like if you got a graphics card that's like only a few years old, then it can.
Yeah, I mean, but then I think that was quite an extravagant game for the hardware at the time, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it plays fantastically well, even on my system, which is reasonable. Not fantastically modern, but it's not terrible. So, my answer is sort of incomplete. As much as I love Skyrim, and I do plan to play it again, I think I need to do a modded playthrough of Skyrim. Fallout 3, I just cannot get into. So, I started playing Fallout 3 before Skyrim.
Yeah.
I got to the first sort of village where you start. You find out about the radio station, and you got that weird that cow, that the one with the megaton.
Oh, Megaton, yeah.
It's the one with the bomb in the middle.
That's like, yeah.
That's as far as I got the first time I played it through. Then, after I finished Skyrim, I went back to Fallout 3, restarted it from scratch.
Yeah.
Got about as far as the radio station part.
Yeah.
So not much further, but a little bit further on.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just not really getting into the game. It doesn't... I know it plays very similarly to Skyrim with the whole dialect, so it's not that I have the issue with.
It's
I kind of have a little bit of an issue with the combat. I don't get on with the weapon system in that game. Ammo is very low, and I don't feel like the weapons that I'm getting are very strong compared to where I was in, say, Skyrim or other games where you have weapons. So, yeah, I feel like a very weak player because I have, like, no body armor, I think, at this point. I don't know how body armor works in that game. I don't think you get any until you power armor or something.
Well, you can. The whole point of the thing I love about that game though is the armor. You can just repair it. So if it's something, say, if you have like the same type of armor as someone that you've killed, you can take that armor and then repair it, or even your guns.
Yeah,
and then like Fallout.
I think I might have picked up some armor actually at one point. I feel like I remember getting excited because I looted some armor. It wasn't very great, but I had something. But
yeah, I
don't know. Like, I never got into the whole VATS system, and
that's great.
I wasn't confident. Yeah, I never got confident in the game in the same way that I did in Skyrim. There's a part of me that's thinking I might forget Fallout 3 and do New Vegas.
Yeah, New Vegas is a lot better.
Because I've got 3, 4, and New Vegas. I might do New Vegas before I do 4, because if I do 4, I might never...
Nah, New Vegas is the best in the series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. I know the whole lore and everyone loves New Vegas. I just wanted to play them in order because...
It doesn't relate.
Whilst I'm not so bad... No. It's not because of the graphical qualities, but I do find... when I go back to previous GTA games, I struggle with the way the game plays. So there's no checkpoints. The way the gun, like drive-by shooting in GTA, is just in like San Fran and Vice City is just terrible. And if you die, you lose all of your weapons. So the way I play those games is very different to the way I play GTA 5. And I worry that if I play Fallout 4, which I suspect might be a quite easy game from those sort of gameplay mechanics, I worry that when I go back to an older game from an era of games where you kind of had to work a bit more, I won't enjoy them because of those things. So I want to get those out the way, play them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before I go on to what might be a slightly cushy game. It might not be the case. That might not be the way Fallout goes, but just from how I've experienced going back to old GTA games, I'd like to enjoy the older Fallout games if I do enjoy them before doing the new ones.
That sounds good. So I think that concludes today's podcast. Hopefully you'll join us next week for more discussions.